Hello everyone, this is Rovert, the maker of the Omega Jevil Deltarune / Undertale fan game. Before I go on, if you haven't played the game yet, I advise you do so. The link is in the description. Otherwise, if you've played it, you can watch this video. Just a little while ago, my game had blew up, and a couple YouTubers had played it, so I decided to celebrate. I would make a developer commentary video for those who were curious about the behind the scenes of the development process of this game. Without further ado, let's talk about this, or something, I don't know. First off, this game was created in 5 days over Thanksgiving break. Deltarune had recently came out, and I had wanted to make a Undertale fan game for a long time now, so I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to seize. Now, most Undertale fan games that are inspired by Omega Flowey, or is like a Omega Flowey fight parody, whatever you want to call it, was unoriginal, and it was mostly like, ooh, Omega Sands, or Omega Papyrus, or just insert Undertale character name here, Omega version. You get what I'm saying. Unoriginal, and it basically copied the mechanics of the original Omega Flowey, with a lower quality, of course. With that in mind, and the fact that Deltarune completely reinvented the Undertale meta, I made it my goal to make this game as original as possible. One of the first features I decided to make it original was 3 different endings with 3 different difficulties. The first ending, which is most likely what the player will first encounter, is the pacifist ending, where you free all the human souls and defeat Omega Jevil. Then, if the player wants to, he can do the neutral or genocide ending by leaving some of the souls in Omega Jevil when you kill him. The idea is that when you kill Jevil, you also kill the souls inside them, basically giving you XP, and the genocide ending is basically you destroying all the human souls, giving you tons of XP, and leveling you up to like 20 or whatever the heck you want to call it. Adding on this, the original Omega Flowey fight and other fan fights related to it, well, they have a linear progression where you can only do one thing, and you might have this weird split that doesn't really matter at the end where you like, oh, you can kill or spare Flowey, but that's the only non-linear part of the original fights. However, in my fight, incorporating the Deltarune TP bar, you can have 2 options instead of 1. When it fills up, you can either do a super fight, which does a bunch of hits on him, like 1/8 of his health goes down, like a regular fight only like knocks 1 or 2, which would, by the way, fun fact, take 600 hits. Or you could heal yourself, and then spare one of the souls, and you can either knock down all of Omega Jevil's health without sparing any souls, and that's super hard because you can't heal at all, and get the genocide ending, or you can spare all the souls, easy heal, easy fight, and then like if you heal all the souls, it goes into this strange thing, and it's pretty epic. In my opinion, this is a good mechanic because average players can go through the game as normal, get the pacifist ending, but more skilled players who want to 100% the game can try the genocide route. And since shoutouts to Merg for doing a no-hit run, I also added a super secret Mimi no-hit ending where if you beat the genocide ending without getting hit at all, then it's like, I can't spoil it, you have to do it for yourself, but it's pretty epic. And speaking of the TP bar, one of the only missing things from this game is the grinding mechanic, which if you've never played Deltarune, which why are you here if you haven't seen or played Deltarune yet, but if you get near an attack, your TP goes up because your heart like grinds up, and it's kind of a cool way that you can commit risk and get rewarded with points you can use to do like a super attack or whatever. I was originally gonna have that mechanic in my game, but I never ended up doing it because I couldn't figure out a way to balance it, so it ended up you would gain TP just by surviving Jevil's attacks, and the harder the attack is to survive, the more TP you would get just to balance it out. And also to balance the Undertale / Deltarune aspect, I didn't want it to be too Deltarune because this is a crossover of the two universes. Another cool original gimmick they had that probably wasn't needed was the fact that sometimes in the fight, the window would actually change its size. Now, let me be honest with you. The only reason that mechanic is in there, not for any specific reason, but for the fact that it was cool, I knew how to do it, and that Undertale was typical of breaking the fourth wall, so I was like, screw it, I know how to do it, I could do this, let me do it. I don't know why, it'd be cool, XD. One of the things that all Omega fan fights had in common was the fact that they used the same format and had the same black background and the same intro where it goes wah, 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 and the red flashing background. So I wanted to change that, and it made so, and I was kind of scared to do this because I was scared that people was going to get mad about the epileptic feature about it, or it'd be like controversial because of all the colors and it would be annoying to the eyes. And surprisingly, not a lot of people had the epilepsy warning, but I added the rainbow background because it was chaotic, and I made it follow the soul just because it was sort of weird symbolic dumb thing that makes no sense. Something like that, I don't know. It was just something cool. I also had the rainbow circles follow the soul because in case you lost the soul on the screen, you could see where the what do you call them? The rainbow circles are out converging from the soul. And you'd be like, oh, the soul's there because that's where the rainbows are emitting from. So you just look there and you're like, oh, I'm not lost. And then you can continue the fight without not enjoying it or whatever. Also, I had another brilliant idea that, but depending on the attack, the background would change a color based on the theme of the attack. So if it's like a clover bomb, it would turn green, or if it's like a super attack that would hurt you, the background would turn just red, or if it was like a duck background, it would do a certain color scheme, something like that. And I figured that would be good so that you could predict the attacks, and it also just like, if you get tired of the constant rainbows, it'd be a nice break from it, and it's just something cool that I decided to add. Speaking of attacks, there are a total of 7 attacks in the game, with my favorite one being the Jingle Bell Rain, my second favorite one being the Card Maze, and my least favorite attack being the Duck attack. Now let's talk about the attack system really quick. So the first 5 initial attacks are possible to happen anytime during the game, but as soon as you get him below half health or free half of the souls, he unlocks the next 2 attacks. I programmed in this behavior so that the experience would have more difficulty, variety, and surprise. The last topic of this video before I wrap up this developer commentary is the incorporation of Gaster into my game. You see, Deltarune had a lot of references to Gaster in the game, so I figured that Gaster should have something to do with Jevil drifting off into the Undertale universe. It only makes sense, right? So if you pay attention to some of the imagery in my game, you might notice some references to Gaster. So that'll wrap everything up. I want to thank you all for the love and support you've given to me on my fan game. I highly appreciate it, and I want to thank you. If you have any more questions about the game, feel free to ask in the comment section below. Otherwise, have a good day, see you later, and bye. Subscribe for more game dev content.